It's Sunday, the 14th of July. This is a day that we should all be touching grass. However, there was something crazy that happened last night, so we're going to cover that now. And then we've also got a little bit of news on meme coins and SendCoin as well. So let's dive into the craziness that was the attempted Trump assassination. So just as a reminder, this is a crypto channel. And for very few people that don't want to hear anything about politics, you can just use the timestamps and just skip ahead, like past all this. But the reason I'm covering this is because there were some crazy gains from meme coins. And, I shouldn't have been taking last night off. I did. I found out about the news and I just kind of faded it. I don't want that to happen again. So let's learn from that mistake. All right. So if you don't know already, somebody tried to assassinate Trump. Okay. So Elon Musk has put out this picture. This was taken by someone that's won a lot of awards when it comes to photography. And this will go down in history as like one of the most craziest photos ever taken. So this is Trump just after he was attempted to be assassinated and they're getting him off stage. And he's just like, you're doing these ones, right? So let's go on to the next bit. Now, there are Democrats, there are people that hate Trump. That's fine. There are people that hate Biden as well. That's fine. But the reality is something like this have so much media attention in the media that counts, which we'll cover shortly, that at this stage, it's highly likely, it's very highly likely that Trump has won the election. And if you have a look at other cases when someone's been attempted an assassination on them, the amount of attention and, public favor that they get normally leads to them winning the presidential campaign. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because there have been quite a decent number of tokens that have absolutely just gone nuts, at least for a small kind of time. Like the Air, Survivor went crazy. The Trump tokens as well, they've done decently. So if you got into any of them, great. I also want to talk briefly about censorship. So one reason why I think Elon Musk is the absolute GOAT, and although I wish Twitter didn't suspend people as readily as it does, it is like a glimmer of freedom of speech, essentially. So this, there's been an assassination attempt. This is in the center of Times Square. And at least from this person's viewpoint, there's nothing in terms of this crazy news on any of these TV screens, which of course is owned by big media companies. So how it actually happened is apparently a shooter was over here, which is not far, 120 meters. For those people that need to kind of understand feet, 400 feet. So this is not a difficult shot for anyone that's relatively trained, decently trained. I haven't organized this perfectly in terms of layout, but just as an idea, if you bought $20 worth of air when this random person posted it, it would be $175,000. Of course, you would have taken profits, but just absolutely insane. This is nuts. And this person here, 441 would have been worth 900,000. So this is why I'm bringing it up, because whenever there's maybe a crazy bit of attention, I think I'll just live stream, flounder around about whatever happens next, and we'll go and make some bets on different things. And if it works out, it works out. We'll take profit, of course. Now, back to the media here. So I want to have two sides here. Basically, mainstream media was saying Trump was rushed off instead of reporting that he was shot. You're not necessarily going to know immediately. I don't know exactly what the delay was, but I do certainly kind of lean more towards the conspiracy that they didn't want to mention that he was shot. And I mean, after loud cracking noises, this is pretty insane. After sound of gunfire, right? It's just a bit nutty. Then you're also going to see stuff like this. If you spend 5 minutes on Twitter, you're going to see all of this stuff. This was an interview with an eyewitness, which said before he got shot, they saw a shooter, they told police, and nothing was done about it. The crazy thing here is there's nothing, I saw one short video, but nothing really decent in terms of everyone has a cell phone. So if you saw this, you would have taken a video of it and then you would have shared it around. It would have been on social media already, and it would be semi-decent. And I've seen nothing really, really decent. Now, just once again, didn't organize myself brilliantly on Sunday, but saw this with my own eyes, and Elon Musk called it, and the mainstream media is done. So just if you're starting to kind of, I don't want to get into any conspiracies, and I don't want to kind of follow down like Russell Brand or whatever and be attacked myself as I gain more of a platform. But just keep in mind that it's hard to get all the right information here. You need to try and pull different sources and make up the most logical thing. And if it's political and if your emotions are involved, fine. But remember not to sound lacking empathy. Of course, I wish no one was, assassinated or no attempts on their lives. But there will be money to be made because attention is there. So that's what we're kind of keeping in mind. Joe Biden's account, which wouldn't be Joe Biden, of course, but Joe Biden's account has deleted this tweet. Once again, it's not an issue like you would expect to delete this. Otherwise, I don't think Joe Biden would have any desire to put an actual bullseye, because if it fails, then you literally lose the presidency. You're just done. GCR, make sure you're following GCR as well, because the person's just incredibly in tune with things. Probably has a decent team. And it's pretty easy for someone to actually predict that there's going to be an assassination attempt. That's not a difficult thing. However, a couple of years earlier, and to have it like this, it's a decent prediction. Now, you're going to see some stuff out there that think it's a psyop, which is, something done in order to confuse people and to basically lead them a particular way. Like, the CIA specializes in psyops. There's a couple of things that make it a little bit scary. And this part is accurate. In what active shooter situations does a service continue to allow him to show that much skin? Which is true. Like he would be pushed down and people would be protecting him. I agree with that. And if they neutralize the shooter in no tactical situation, would they assume all threats had been neutralized? Also relatively true. And are there any other injuries, casualties for the 8 shots that were taken? Understanding here is I think one person actually may have died in the public, and the other shots would have been returned to the shooter, and yes, it cemented the win and whatnot. Now, some people are going to see this as they orchestrated this in order to gain more attention, right? And to secure the win, because that's certainly a valid case. But the reality is, at 140 meters or whatever we just worked out, like it's hard, but for an experienced shooter, it's not like impossible. But the thing is, you wouldn't want to risk that. So it wouldn't have been orchestrated internally, because to clip your ear is just insane. Now, where it comes a little bit crazy is the fact that, so you have the Secret Service, they have people on roofs and all that sort of stuff, and, scanning the area. If we go back to wherever it was, like there's no way that wouldn't have been checked. So this is where you start to think like maybe things have been a bit infiltrated, right? And that was just a setup, and this part, and he was supposed to miss. I don't get this part. Like, I just don't think, I'm not an experienced shooter, but I don't think that is truly the case. And then you'd give up your life. Giving up your life, that's certainly possible if you have terminal disease and you're going to be paid a lot of money to your family or whatever. Next bit here. So this person had predicted this months ago, but it has a huge kind of biblical sense tied into it, which I don't necessarily think. I think it's a little bit of luck. So just, watch yourself. Keep in mind, just there's going to be different narratives over there following different things. And back to this point here, like obvious line of sight, not secured. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that someone would have a direct line of sight and then the snipers from Secret Service wouldn't have taken them out. Now let's actually move on to the fact that there were meme coins made and they were decent. And then after this, we'll also cover SendCoin and the fact that they're doing their launch very soon. So I don't know how much liquid they put in, because I don't actually have their address. But let's say they didn't take out anything. The amount of fees they just generated was insane. So this is where you've got options. If you like something, you can buy a little bit. You can put a little bit into DLMs, watch them, and then they can print. Now, in yesterday's video with Intent Trade, I released it, but I filmed it all a little while ago, and then I did some UI changes. Now, I'm going to be using this quite a bit. Last night would have been a good time to kind of jump into it. I'll give you an example. So firstly, you need to use my referral link to sign up because it's still in the beta. So you won't get access unless you have that. So I'll show you with this wallet, because this one I believe should have access. So we'll connect and approve. And then we have to create a GM wallet. So this is the part that I didn't create, like I didn't cover in my tutorial. It's going to cost a little bit in Sol. This is normal. And then we put the funds into this wallet, and then we can buy and sell. And I'll cover this more specifically later. So after we've done that, what we can do is we can go and grab, a token that's done really well, or a token that's, pumping. So here, as an example, we'll go and grab this token address. Like even from like buying it kind of last night, it's not really up, but for people that jumped in, if they got in early, they did really well. Come back here, you put in this token, it's going to do some on-chain analysis. Now these are really, really new tokens, so it gets a little bit difficult. But what you can see is you can just see the information in one platform fairly quickly, so you don't have to go to 5 other platforms just immediately. Then you get a TLDR, and we're going to probably trade a little bit based on the TLDR. And then from here, you go and fund the wallet, deposit some money in here, and then you watch my tutorial to find out how you basically buy. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy some stuff, and then I'm going to set sell orders just within this and just see if we can be profitable. Of course, that's the goal. So make sure you check out that video. It is decent. It's a decent tool. I'll be very transparent. Sponsored content, but I was going to make a tutorial anyway. Just fortunately, I could make it a little bit better and cover my editors and stuff like that. And it's a tool that I'm going to be using until we manage to run up a decent bag from meme coins, which will start from probably Monday. So there's Air, another token here, Survivor. This is the one that did really well initially, and just, I don't know what the fully diluted market valuation, like, it absolutely tanked in the end, because of course, like, this is nothing that's going to be that special, like Survivor as a token. But for that short period, if you jump on, if you put in $50, if you put a little bit into the DLMM, that's where it could do well. I mean, $32 million worth of volume. Absolutely insane. Now let's kind of move away from that and let's move on to the SendCoin, because they're doing their launch today. And we can see that 300,000 Sol. I don't know where it says 300,000 Sol, because this doesn't say that. But let's say it is 300,000 Sol and that this is correct. So $42 million, which is crazy, has been locked into the Meteor vault. This is the post regarding the Meteor vote. I just told everyone in yesterday's video just to do everything with notifications on. If you watch my content regularly, you'll know how to enter a Meteor vault. However, as soon as it went really high, by the time this video is out, the Meteor vault will already be filled. And so there's no point in actually jumping in. Plus, it's ridiculously oversubscribed. So the vault has a cap of 999 Sol, which means the vault can only buy up to 999 Sol. The remaining Sol deposited can be claimed back through the Meteor UI. But because of this freaking crazy demand, right? I think it's worth jumping into some dynamic pools and some DLMMs. I'm going to go out and play some mini golf soon. And then if I come back, I might do another video on this. But I think people know how to do it because I've covered it decently. So just search on my YouTube. So this is it here. This total value lock, this is incorrect. Like, we know that 999 Sol is, we take our trusty calculator. 999 Sol is the amount, right? That is the amount of Sol that it can have. And it's this 31,814% filled. So divide that by 100, times that by 999, and 317,000 Sol is in there. So even if you had decent bags, like 20 Sol, if you go and put in 20 Sol, right? And if we just go kind of just 20 divided by 300,000 times 100, then that's how much, if I've done my math right very quickly, that's how much Sol you're actually going to get in terms of locked tokens. So this is why I'm saying don't bother about this. There's no point in actually jumping in, unfortunately. This is going to be starting soon, so I'm not going to be able to show you how to do it, but I want you to jump in because I think the demand will be crazy. Anyway, it has a 7-day vesting. They're going to get tokens at a cheaper price. There's plenty of demand for the Send token, and it's a Sunday, so it's not the best day to do it. But what I suggest you do is you go and buy some Send tokens, right? Or maybe there'll be I don't know how fast that actual airdrop's going to happen. Go and buy some, throw them to the DLMM, but also jump into pools and go into pools, dynamic pools. You have to put in $600. Oh, you know what? There's already one set up, so you don't have to. Okay, this is a pool. Okay. Go and put into this pool or create a different pool with like a 5% fee or something like that, and just let it print. A dynamic pool will, wow, this has just gone up again. So we're screwed. Anyway, whatever. This is a SendCoin. It hasn't launched, and this is what Ben Chow from Meteor says. So the Alpha Vault is oversubscribed by, well, 50,000% now, something silly. If you're depositing, you'll get some tokens from the vault, but most will be unused. You'll be able to withdraw your unused Sol so you can use it when the pool starts trading, which is great. Just do what I said. So go and generate some fees. Not financial advice, because I don't know what SendCoin's going to do, but there's a bit of hype here. I think it's worth doing. These NFTs, I don't know if it's worth buying them. I don't know if you buy them now and then you can like still get an airdrop of Send token. Anyway, let's end with some CoinGecko. We're not going to end with actionables. I've covered the actionables. So if we have a look at what's gone up in the top 100, that's not going to be really valuable. But if you have a look at like things that relate to, you know, the Trump token, I think this is E1, which all-time low, tiny. All-time high is down a little bit, but still it's had a decent pump. Maybe even like Trimp as well. Maybe there's some sell pressure on that. Went up a little bit. Okay. Well, it went up a lot and then it's come on down. So maybe I'm unsure exactly how to play these things, but unfortunately, we're just going to have to be a little bit more glued to Twitter to see what's actually getting the attention, and then maybe make some concentrated bets, take some profits, be quite strict on that. Don't just wait. Don't let it run for ages. Sometimes you'll win well, but most of the time you won't. This is just tension going in for a short period of time and then money going out. That's my belief. I don't think I'm going to create another video showing you how you can enter into dynamic pools or actual DLMMs, because I've already covered that enough. So if you want to jump into those pools with some Send token and some Sol, go for it. And if it starts to print a few fees, if you're in early, I think it will. But as more and more money comes in, then there'll be decent liquidity, and then maybe the APR will drop down. I'm probably going to do that with maybe like $1,000 and keep it there for a couple of days. If I do it tonight, I'll update you on the position tomorrow. That's all for today. If you like the content, like it. If you loved it, subscribe. Catch you tomorrow.